Ladies and gentlemen, all the ships at sea, guess what? Got another real estate show for you today. Hopefully we'll make it just a little bit quick. Haven't been feeling too well lately, so I'll get as much done as I possibly can for you today. I plan to do this every week this summer. I'm debating whether or not to do a live stream next week because I would have done my big monthly update by then. So this is like a little mini update, see what's going on, compare things, and of course, answer any questions that anyone has if they pop on today. I know a lot of you watch this later on. If you do, just leave that comment that you watch later. So let's go ahead without further ado, without wasting any of your time. Let's go and see what the market has done so far. Let's see here. So we're going to look and we're going to see that in the month of May, 2,316 homes sold, bringing in a total of new listings of 2,604, units available 3,645, median price 442,120. Since that's considered the most accurate measure, we're going to stick with that one for right now. 1.6 months of inventory, and as I've said many times, which is the way it is, a normal market is 5 to 6 months of inventory, also known as a balanced market, with a seller's market being less than 5 months and a buyer's market being more than. We have not hit 5 months in many years, but we continue to go on. Now let's compare that for single family homes, what has happened the month prior. So the month prior, we had 1,962 units sold. So fewer units sold the month prior. New listings was 2,451 for 3,737 available. Let's just compare. So we have fewer available, more sold, and more listings came on, but we have fewer available. Median list price month prior was 430, 1.9 months of inventory. So we now have less inventory with a higher price. So we already know where this is going. Hopefully this actually slows down. These lower prices were actually a nice little respite. And just compare that to 1 year ago, May of 22, 2,907 with 4,033 coming on the market. This is like as we're like entering the last little our little downturn. So this is like the top of the market. So the top of the market right before it crested over, we had 3,570 available, and we compare that now to 3,645. So we actually have a few more available. Median price 482. That was the high with 1.2 months of inventory. And I've actually seen the inventory go down much lower than that, but not at that price. So now we'll just go ahead and compare that condo and townhome market. And we are looking at 684 sold, 725 coming on the market for 925 available. 275 is the median price, 1.4 months of inventory. And now let's go back and compare. So we have more sold and just a few units fewer than the month prior. Median price is, as you can see, popped up by 5,000. Let's compare that to a year ago where we had 797. So we had fewer at the top of the market. 285 was the top. We're looking at 275 now. So if you purchased a condo or townhome, you are actually pretty close to where you were a year ago. So very little loss there over the year over year. So let's go in and look at what the current market brings us. So let's go back for 7 days. Let's make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. So we had 838 new to market, which is actually getting pretty good. Back on market, 184. Price decreases, 489. I don't know how many times I have to say this to folks. I don't care what the market is doing. Do not overprice your house. I know no one likes to be preached at, but yeah, but it's like negating everything you said before. So, but these people were over preached and another or overpriced. They needed to be preached to. Possibly they were told that they were overpriced in their homes, but the real reality is a lot of times agents do what's known as buying the listing, and got three agents come and look at your house. One says it's worth 475, one says it's worth 500, and the other one says it's worth 525. You go with the one that says 525. There's no basis behind it. It feels right to you, and then all of a sudden you're in this price deduction category here. And the longer you hold out here, even in an up market, the less money you actually get. It's counterintuitive, but it's the truth. Never understand price increases that much except for mistakes. Under contract, we got 329 and 580. So that's like over 900. It's like, I mean, what would that be? So 909. Yeah. Sold 636. That's over the last 7 days. So as you can see, more came under contract than new listings came on the market, which is sizing up to be a very nice summer, even with the interest rates. We'll talk about that in a second. Expired 64. A lot of these expireds as well. I haven't looked at them yet. As you can see, the majority of them were actually withdrawn that went to expired. Just to explain folks real quick about that. Even when you take your house off the market, it's still under, for some, especially like the withdrawn conditionally, they're still under contract, which means you can take your house off the market and it expires 3 months later, which was the end of the original contract. And that's why when you start wondering, why am I getting all these calls all of a sudden? It's because your house is now officially expired. And let's see here. The withdrawns, that's a little bit different. That's actually withdrawn from the market. So you're actually good with that. Some agents aren't going to give you an outright withdrawal purely if they put a lot of money into it. People don't realize sometimes an agent could have easily put $1,000, $1,500 in your listing. Then you go, oh, it's not selling. I don't want to reduce my price. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, we'll take it off the market, but I'm not going to let you go list it with someone else to list it lower, because more than likely, most people, when they list the house again, they list it at the price it should have been. That's why they usually sell the second time around. Okay. Oh, and this is a new condition we have, contingent on sale. Let's talk about that one. This is going to be interesting. This is like brand new, like this week. So, you can have a contingency on your house, like you got to sell another house or something like that. But what happens if you don't sell the other house? Well, buried in the contract is a 72-hour clause that says, oh, if somebody makes an offer on this house and my house still hasn't closed, I have 72 hours to remedy that, aka, okay, I'm taking that condition off. Well, I guess because we're going into another shortage area, somebody came up with a bright idea, which is, I mean, kind of interesting. It basically is going like, it's giving a buyer a chance to go, you know what, I would really like to buy this house, but it's under contract. So it allows you to put in an offer now that if the other buyer doesn't alleviate, aka say, okay, I'm going to buy this house and not worry about it and put it in God's hands or something to sell my house, then boom. So they felt this would be a way for people to get their hands on houses that they may not have in the past, which is now going to put a lot of people on their toes who are trying to sell. Always like to put that out there. Remember, for about 2 years, if you had a house to sell, you were not buying a house. Nobody would accept that offer. I'm sorry, nobody. Very few people would accept that offer because they wanted to have that cashy money in hand. During our little downtime for a year, that changed. It was easy to get that accepted. Well, we're going back into another shortage era, and yeah, I'll be surprised in a month if things continue to go in the way they are now. I'll be surprised in a month if these are even here because most sellers aren't even going to accept these pretty soon. Okay, let's see. That takes care of that. Now let's go ahead and look to see what the stats are so far this month. Now we're up to the 11th now. Normally things don't start solidifying until around this time, maybe until the 15th. But let's just go out there and look to see what's going on. So we're going to break this down. We're going to start with single family residence. So right now, let's of course do this the way I like to do it. Break down to Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson. I know we got some stuff down in Boulder City around in Prump and everything, but let's just keep it to that. Right now we have 3,561 single family homes. We have 532 condominiums and 411 townhomes. Let's go ahead and see from those what have sold since so far this month. And of course, the agent needs to turn in or update the data, but let's see here. So far, 77 townhomes have sold. Results. Let's get into these little stats here. Median price. The list was for median list was 329. Median sales is 327. 14 days on market, so that has improved dramatically. And as you can see here, we're still getting prices that are sold, which was 30 to 60 days ago, that were under the list price. So we are having a lot of multiple bids now, but those multiple bids are not translating into people offering the sellers whatever they want, like they were, over a year ago. So multiple bids, but the high bid is usually coming pretty close to the list price. Also, something I have noticed just over the last month or so, with those multiple offers, they have one thing in common. Well, they have two things in common, but one in particular, they're new to the market. Right now, people are doing this, I want new, and they're not looking at the houses that have been on the market for more than 60 days. Again, if you are out there looking and you're getting beat out, look for that 60-day house. Because during the entire 2 years of the last run up, when I was giving advice ahead of time, people who were doing these things were getting something. And then those who weren't, 2 months later, everybody was looking for the 60-day house equivalent. So go ahead. If you're looking for a house now and you're having issues during this summer, it's because you're probably fishing in the wrong fishing spot. So look at the log over there and start looking for those 60-day houses. Okay, well, that didn't do exactly what I wanted. Okay, that was townhomes. Let's look at condos. I got to break this back down to Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson again. 625 sold. The results, drum roll, please. Oh, I forgot to take one out. Hold up. Although it still had it. I just like it to be clean. Get rid of the actives. 93 sold. I apologize for that. Now let's look at the stats. Okay, so median price listed was 330, and $329,999. Let's call it what it is. On average, the median is sold for list price. So keep that in mind. And here's one I like to bring out to people sometimes. The median price that they show, or the list price for that closed, is not where it started at. Now, I can probably go back and look for some of these if somebody wants to and see where they actually sold these at. So, a house that was 230 could have started at 250, and then they just milked it down. That's another reason you don't want to milk it down. Okay, let's come back here. And I didn't want to do that. Hold on, let's see. Seems to work better this way. And now I'm going to do the single families. Make sure 641 sold last month, which is actually coming out going to be pretty. I don't think that's going to come out to what we had last month, or you know what I mean. So far, 641. We multiply that times 3, it's going to be less. So let's see what the results are. Okay. Median list 445, and so far median close price is 435. Compare that to 442. So our price is coming down, or we need to wait for the rest of the month for it to stabilize for the bigger and badder houses, because we did have a $10 million house here. Now that really only affects the average. So if you're ever wondering why there's a difference between average and median, it's a statistics thing, and it's called the skew. So this is a skew right, probably by about 2 factors. And houses like this affect it. And that's what skews it right, because some very expensive property is here in the Las Vegas area. Okay, well, let's go ahead and cover this one really quick. It's the current mortgage rates. The Fed is meeting on Wednesday, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they are not going to raise interest rates, even though that does not affect mortgage rates per se. There is a tangential effect. And we look here, we got our conventional nationwide. We're not talking Las Vegas. I just pulled up one of the emails that a lender sent me. 6.727%, which is up from last week's 6.649. VA, 6.45, up from 6.371. FHA, this is actually strange. It's usually closer to the VA. 6.645, up from 6.594. And they got some averages here based on FICO. So 740 plus FICO. I'm assuming these are conventional. Gets you 5.89. 720 to 739 gets you 6 point. Whoa, that's interesting. Have I lost my mind here? So look at this. This gives me a 740 FICO score, gives me 6.589, a 720 to 739, which is actually close to still that's a decent credit score. Gets me 6.817, but going down to 700, 719 gets me this for this week. That is odd. Okay, well, 20 minutes. Let's see. Hopefully everyone got what they wanted from that. See what the market is, because the housing market has shifted, and it shifted according to where you are, either for the positive if you're a home owner trying to sell, a little bit to the negative if you're a home buyer because the prices are up, interest rates are up, costing you even more money. So with that, does anyone have any questions before I go figure out what I'm going to eat this Sunday night, and if I'm going to have one for uh, a live stream next week for Father's Day? Because I figured, some fathers, aren't doing any, maybe doing other stuff because of Father's Day. But also remember that nobody takes fathers out to dinner like Mother's Day. And the best you're going to get for a present is going to be a tacky ass old tie. I've never even gotten a tacky ass old tie, and I barely get a card. So I don't think about it anymore. Okay, any questions? Okay, those of you watching, give me your Father's Day plans in the comments. And if you have any questions for Father's Day, leave those in the comments of this video. Try to answer them. I'm probably going to have it because I already know nobody's taking me to dinner. And I'm not getting a tacky tie. Since I retired, I haven't worn ties. Even years before retirement, I didn't wear ties. I can't remember the last time I wore a dress uniform. It was all flight suits for me. Being in a dress uniform is a sign of capitulation. Okay, anybody else have any questions? I see we got quite a few people on here, 6, which is for me quite a few. Anybody have any questions? I don't want to just leave anybody hanging. I'll give you 3 minutes because I know there's a delay to see if anybody has any questions, so I can get those answered for you. Okay, I'll waste time since I promised to give you that time there. Let's see what's going on. I just got a new camera came in last night for my tour videos. It's going to be really cool. It does not, I don't know. When you look at the advertising, you look how great the videos are. I just did some videos today, and what's so neat about it, where is it? Oh, here it is. Pull this off if anyone cares. There's the camera. So what's nice about it is it has a magnetic base, and you can just plop it to your car. So my plans are to do more tours because I found a lot of people are really liking the tours and like going to places like Spring Valley or places in Henderson. Okay, got a few dropped out, a couple of minutes to go. And then just driving around the neighborhoods and talking about the real estate in that area and what it's like to live there and showing the schools and everything else, and maybe break out the drone and everything and break out the 360 gear for the drone that I never put on it, and give you guys a better experience. If there's any particular area, and I know I promised one lady that I was going to do the Southwest. We still have it in our plans to do the Southwest. It's just the last one we did, which you're going to be seeing a lot of, is going to be Lake Las Vegas because it's a growing area. So we went out there on Friday and Tuesday. Well, went Tuesday, but there's just too many people to get good videos, so we went back Friday. Got some really good stuff. Got some driving tours in, show you what it's like to be in Lake Las Vegas. So hopefully you'll see the first of those this week. Between the 2 days, it was a lot of time spent just in Lake Las Vegas doing stuff. Okay, well, it does not seem to be that there's anyone who wants to ask any questions. Again, I'm trying to be more diligent on answering questions in the comments. And if you need anything, of course, hopefully my assistant put it down there. You have my calendar link. It's always easier to get on the calendar than anything else because I could be rushing out the door when you call or something or text. And then, after I get back and go through all the emails and texts or anything, it could be a minute before I respond to you. Okay. But of course, if you get on the calendar, I block that time out for you. So even if you're trying to ask some simple questions, it's a 15-minute link just to get to know you. And with that, I don't know what I'm going to eat for dinner, but that's what I'm going to go try to do now. I will see you hopefully next week, which is what I plan, unless someone says, we're going to finally take you to the Red Lobster. I'm out.